broadcasting on the Armstrong FM system. This is 97.9 WHAV.
Catch the wave, WHAV, Merrimack Valley. Open mic.
From the Edwin V. Johnson Newsroom, 97.9 WHAV FM presents the new Open Mic Show with Bill Macek. Make your voice heard. Call 978-374-1900. That's 978-374-1900.
Okay, we are here tonight on a Monday night, as we always are, 6 to 8 p.m. on the Open Mic Show. And for this first hour, I'm actually flying solo. Bill Ellis not able to make it in to co-host. And we have a special guest coming up, though, in our second hour, which I'm looking forward to spending some time talking with Haverhill's new superintendent. And we're going to talk to her. And she gave us a little bit of a bio and some information on what she's looking to do. So we're going to do that. Superintendent Marotta will be here for the 7 o'clock hour. So anybody who's interested in the Haverhill school system should think about maybe some questions, maybe some things they'd like to either ask or discuss with the new superintendent. And we'll see where she's plotting to take it. Because, Scully's no longer around, and when you have a new captain of the ship, it's always a little bit different course, but that's not a bad thing. So we're looking forward to see what she will accomplish and where she, kind of just makes things a little bit exciting. So we're going to do that in the second hour. This hour, we have open lines. So for all of you who sometimes call in during a guest and we can't take your call because you want to call in a birthday or an anniversary, now would be your time to call, 978-374-1900, and give us a call. So we're looking for birthdays tonight for the well, actually, you know what? Hey, Chris, we need to draw from the cowboy hat tonight. And this is so you've got time, though, right now to call in a late entry for the cake from Albidee's second-generation Italian bakery, which is located right in Bradford Square, and it's easy to find and lots of goodies in that building. So try to get over there. Whether you win the cake or not, you should stop in and pick up some pastries, some bread, just all kinds of baked goods at Albidee's second-generation Italian bakery, right on South Main Street in Bradford. So you don't want to miss that. And we're going to be drawing a winner of the birthday cake, somebody who is either has a birthday in October or somebody who has an anniversary in October. We take both birthdays and anniversary dates. We just need a first name. If you call in, we'll put you on the air. We can talk about the people you know that have birthdays in October, and that will be for today. 978-374-1900 is the number to call. There's a lot of news going on locally, a lot of news going on across the nation and the world, of course, but let's try to keep it at least in our country, but it's stuff that relates to us, here in the Merrimack Valley. 978-374-1900 is the number to call. Now, we also would be willing to discuss what happened in Andover, North Andover, and Lawrence with the gas explosions that were happening. Horrific scene, and it's going to take years. It's really going to take years for the reconstruction and for people to get relocated. I was talking to somebody this afternoon. They haven't yet completed getting things situated so it's even comfortable. It's getting a little colder at night, and they're giving out hot plates and some heaters, but those are electric, not gas, and they're looking, for the tenant to now pick up the additional electric costs. And with the person I was speaking to, she actually had gas cooking and gas heat, and it was picked up by the landlord. So, things are shifting around, and it's really unfortunate. And the losses that people have gone through, and what a catastrophe. That's all I can say. It's my understanding that there might have been somewhere a dozen or less homes that had the same gas company that was Columbia Gas that was involved as the parent company for all the gas lines and what was going on in those three communities. But I guess Haverhill had a little bit of a touch of it, but I don't think we had any fires or explosions, so that's fortunate. A number of people said to me, and I felt the same way, well, it's a good thing we're with National Grid and we weren't tied into that system. And they're not sure how they're going to actually get it figured out, because they're talking about maybe having to replace 48 miles of new gas line to replace old gas line. And, I didn't get any more than that, but I'm wondering, is that because the pressure was so high that they actually destroyed their own underground gas lines by popping them either at joints or even just blowing the piping apart because of the pressure? It was somewhere between 11 and 12 times the pressure that it should be. So somebody certainly wasn't paying attention. It's 6:12 right now, and the number is 978-374-1900. I'd also like to let you know that this hour of the Open Mic Show is sponsored in part by Auto Fair Subaru, 503 Broadway in Haverhill, right off I-495 at exit 50. And they got tons of cars on the lot, so I'm sure you can go up there and get yourself a car of your choice and probably get a good deal too. So check it out, Auto Fair Subaru. We have a birthday call on the line at 978-374-1900, so let's find out who that might be. Hello, caller.
Hi.
Hi, how you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. This morning for me is from my mom. Her birthday's in October, the 14th, actually.
Okay.
And I figured I'd go, I've heard you guys giving away cakes, and I've been by that Italian bakery, and you're right, it smells awesome.
Yeah, well, you should try tasting some of it, even better.
No, I gained 10 pounds just smelling it.
Okay. And what's your mother's first name?
Janice.
Janice, okay. Janice is now in the drawing that will happen a little bit later on during the show, and we'll get to that. And thank you for calling in. Anything else you would like to comment on or say, or was that it?
Yeah. You know how they're doing all this rebuilding in Haverhill? That's great and all, but the Basilia Bridge, they need to really look at that thing.
Well, we are certainly on the state, and we're on the list, and they know that it needs to be done. But unfortunately, because there are so many infrastructure projects that need to be done, not just in Haverhill, but done throughout the state, that what they do is they kind of work you up based upon how close to a disaster you are and how quick they can get to it. One of the other things that they do now is, and there were some people complaining about it, and I can understand the complaint, but they also, when they do start, because they want to budget it over 4, 5, 6 years, they take forever to get things done, because that's what's happening now on the 495 bridges between between River Street and the Ward Hill connector. They're going to put ramps in now. I don't know if you've driven by, but they're actually starting to work in the median so they can have crossover ramps, because they're going to actually shut down one of the bridges, rebuild that bridge. I think they're going to totally replace, and then they're going to cross it back over the other way, and they're going to build the other bridge. So we will have finally 2 new bridges, so they won't be getting those washboard feels with they fall apart. And I mean, there's been times that there's been holes actually. Luckily no car has been disabled, by a tire going into a hole or something, but they found actual holes.
Yeah, like the Como Bridge, it took 8 years to build.
There's another example, and that's because what they're doing is they're stretching out the budget. So, the cost is probably a little more, because when you stretch things out, the cost goes up, as the years go by. But the state can do more projects, get more projects in the pipeline that way.
Yeah. Like the Big Dig, that took forever, and oh my God.
Yeah, I know. Well,
my Lord.
Yeah, that was one that was probably one of the most expensive ever, if not still the most expensive construction project.
Yeah.
But the federal government was involved in that one.
Oh, yeah.
Not just the state, so the feds were involved.
I'm going to let you go, and
all right.
I'll be listening.
Thanks for calling in. I appreciate you calling in your mother's birthday. Okay.
Thank you.
Yep.
Bye.
All right. Thank you. We're going to keep taking calls for birthdays and anniversaries in the month of October right here on the Open Mic Show. 978-374-1900 is the number for you to call. I'm Bill Macek, and coming up in the second hour, the 7 o'clock hour, Haverhill's new superintendent, Margaret Marotta, she's going to be here. We're going to be talking education in the second hour right here on the Open Mic on WHAV 97.9 FM.
Open mic.
Bill Macek and the new Open Mic will be right back. Get in on the action. Call 978-374-1900. If you're enjoying this program, consider becoming a WHAV member right now. Just click on the membership tab at WHAV.net.
Broadcasting on the Armstrong FM system, this is 97.9 WHAV.
Catch the wave.
Suspense, a weekly anthology of notable melodramas from stage and screen, fiction and radio, presented every Monday night to bring you to the edge of your chair, to keep you in suspense. Listen to the new Suspense with a company of Hollywood actors and surprising guest stars, Monday nights at 10, with encore performances at 1 a.m., right here on WHAV. Remember, only local radio can bring you this feature opportunity, but only WHAV does.
Community Spotlight.
City faith-based groups and peace advocates are marching from GAR Park to Trinity Stadium on Saturday the 29th in an effort to bring residents together for a night of fun, food, and fellowship. Organizers ask participants to park at the Welcome Street Citizen Center and be ready to march starting at 4 p.m. A shuttle bus is available for those unable to walk the route to Trinity Stadium. Following the march's conclusion, a 5:30 p.m. cookout and 6:30 worship service is planned outdoors at Riverside Park. All events are free and no registration is required. Someone you know is on WHAV. To submit or read your own nonprofit announcements, click on the Contact tab at WHAV.net or email news@WHAV.net. In the Edwin V. Johnson Newsroom, I'm Eric Scott.
WHAV. Open mic.
From the Edwin V. Johnson Newsroom, 97.9 WHAV FM presents the new Open Mic Show with Bill Macek. Make your voice heard. Call 978-374-1900. That's 978-374-1900.
Okay, we are back on the Open Mic Show, 6:19 right now. This hour we have open lines at 978-374-1900, and we are looking for a call from Brian. He's on the line. Hello, Brian.
How did you know? Oh,
No, wait a minute. For some reason, my headphones have not, something happened during that break. Chris, you want to come in here and see if I got something out of line with our new board? Because I can't seem to hear what's going on. I can hear myself, but I can't hear the caller. So just hold one second. And where should we have all of these buttons here that I have never been trained on? Is that it? Nope. Those are still not coming in the headphones yet. So, Brian, just hold on. We'll get to this. This is live radio. Something.
Can you hear them now?
No.
Oh,
testing.
Oh, okay. Now we have them. Nice,
Testing,
loud, and
testing.
clear. Okay. All right, Brian, we're good now.
Testing.
Okay.
Well, plus, you know,
Yeah, we got you.
the telephone lines up here at Hunter's Run aren't very good. You know, they're not well maintained. by
Okay.
Verizon.
Well, then I'm going to blame the telephone lines and not our equipment here.
I always do.
Yeah, sure. We got to
There were
blame
times
blame somebody else, right? Well,
When Tim couldn't even hear me. And I know that you're not eligible to win a cake, but let's remind listeners that your birthday is an October birthday.
Well, that's very nice of you to remember that and to mention that my birthday's coming up. Yep.
Well, it's 2 days before mine.
That's one way to remember it, right?
But But it's also the anniversary of the death of my best friend last year.
Well, I'm sorry to hear you lost your best friend.
Sorry to say.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I'm sorry to hear that. So, what else is going on in your life?
Oh, I don't know, just one day at a time.
That's it. Enjoying it a day at a time, living La Vida Loca, right?
Well, I need to note also that if it's the real Bill Macek that's been exchanging messages with me on Facebook.
That would be no. Actually, it's funny you mentioned that. My account got hacked. I received a message today from one of my friends.
Okay.
And she said that your account has been hacked because I had a friend request, and she said we're already friends, so I know you wouldn't be making another request, and that was good logic. So, but I have not had a chance. I'm going to try tonight to. I guess I have to reset my password. But so
okay. That's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
Because,
so what, did you get a friend request, or did you get somebody else called me?
I got both. I got a friend request.
Was there some kind of an investment scheme that you could have gotten in on?
The what?
An IDS or something? Somebody told
IDA scheme.
IDA scheme. Did you get that too?
I did.
From me?
I did.
Yeah. Well, that's not me. So yeah.
I didn't think so.
No. But if you want to send me $750, that would be okay. I felt so bad. You know, my friend called me and told me that he had received that IDA scheme. I said, what? He goes, oh, that's what I thought. It wasn't you. Somebody else hacked your... that's the third time I've had my Facebook hacked. Yeah.
I think it's a good idea then to remind listeners that,
to change their password.
To be very, very careful on these things because... you know.
Yeah, well, I get phone calls all the time that I've won like $4.5 million and $2 million and you know, but I have to send them money. They need my. I say, you know what I say to them? You know, why don't you just? I'll give you my authorization to take the money out of my winnings and send me the money. And they hang up once they know I'm wise to them. You know, but just they must be making money. There must be poor, innocent people that do find that money.
Oh, it's definitely a numbers game.
Yeah, yeah.
Sure, and don't forget, too, like we've got people being contacted by something claiming to be the IRS. Hello, this is the IRS.
Oh, yeah, they use government names. Yeah, they use all kinds of I got a guy that I kind of outed, and he wasn't happy with me, and I get his call. He calls me, I think he thinks he's upsetting me. He calls me from Jamaica, and I just won't take his call, and it rings, and I you know, hit the ringer off. But you know, he's having fun, he thinks, getting me, but I just let, you know, fine. You want to call me from Jamaica? He's got a Jamaican accent, everything, but he's working for a U.S. government agency, and and there's lots of money there for me if I send him. I think he wants $450. You know, it's like 1% or something, but. Crazy stuff. I mean, it is just unfortunate, and there's really no. I saw a guy on a TV show over the weekend. He said that next year there's going to be over half of your phone calls will probably be these robo solicitation calls that you know, they're just dialing, because he said it's so affordable for the software now, so affordable for the lines that are, they're all local calls. You know, you can't tell anymore where a call's really coming from, because they get as close as they can to you, and then it rings into you, so it's like a local call. Just, you know, nutty stuff that's going on, and can't keep up with it. Just, you know, as the old saying goes, it's too bad these people couldn't apply themselves in the same way they do to scamming you to something of a profession, and they'd probably make even more money if they were, you know, in a profession.
Maybe.
That,
or maybe it's just a challenge, or people just like the idea of getting away with something.
Could be, yeah. So they get very upset when you call them scammers, because I do that. I say, you're just a scammer. So they don't like that. They get upset. No, I'm not. They defend themselves.
Right.
Yeah.
That's probably part of their training, too.
It probably is. I think they must have some kind of training. Now, the other thing is, it was mentioned, and I just want to mention this. There's something, I won't say what the name of the particular product is, but there are some free apps for your cell phone for you to download to knock out these robocalls. But before I downloaded it, I went in and looked at some of the comments that people had made, and at least the one that was mentioned, which was, I guess, one of the more popular ones, doesn't work well. So I'm not sure which one. I didn't go with any of them. So in the meantime, I'll just keep hanging up on them. Or sometimes I like to play with them a little bit. If I have time, I'll pretend like I'm an idiot and I'm going to go along with their scheme, and then I'll out them later on when I've had enough.
If you don't recognize the number, don't answer it.
Well, that's true. That's true. But, I get a lot of calls from people that I don't really know their numbers, so I can't get too fancy with just not answering calls, because I'd probably get myself in trouble as a city councilor or as an attorney, whatever, somebody might be calling me for. Not everybody has.
Right.
I don't have, but I quickly put people into my my list of knowing who they are, so the next time they call, then I'll have their name popping up so that I don't have any concerns at all. I know whose call I'm answering, and I'll answer it and go, "Hello, Brian. How are you?" So anyway, it's all good. So anything else on your mind tonight besides my birthday?
Oh, no.
But I do want to say that I am not going to be able to. My name is not going to be in the drawing because working here, I would not do that. So I make sure that I'm not qualified to be in the drawing. We have another call, Brian. Can I jump to the next call? And I appreciate speaking with you. And we'll talk again soon, I hope.
Sure enough.
Okay. All right.
Have a good night.
Okay. All right. Chris, are we going to a second call? Okay. We're going to bring this phone line up here on this new board that we have. Hello, caller.
Yeah, Dr. Boucher here.
Hey, Dr. Boucher, how are you?
Jerry, anyways.
Yeah, I know you. You can call me Bill, too.
That was the lieutenant you were just talking to?
Yeah, right.
Lieutenant Langwood.
Is he a lieutenant? Yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I told him if he would have
You're right.
he would have been a lieutenant.
Yeah?
And he calls me Corporal Boucher.
Oh, nice.
Which I was, anyways.
Well, but now you're a doctor, too.
Dr. Corporal.
Dr. Corporal. Doesn't sound right.
No, a doctor on a professional level. But
yes.
anyways, you got a main subject tonight?
Well, we're going to be talking about the Haverhill school system in the 7 o'clock hour. This is just an open lines hour. Every once in a while we do this and like to hear from people and different comments.
Yeah.
And
Well, I just want to, can I just mention, say we have the White Cane Day every year, October 11th.
Okay.
Because if it's a
yeah.
holiday, October 15th, sorry. October 15th, which is a Monday, I guess that's a holiday or something.
Yes.
So we're going to have a table set
it's
up
Columbus
on
Day.
October 13th on a farmer's market last day, I guess.
Okay, it's Columbus Day until they rename it. There's always talk every year that they're going to rename Columbus Day.
Oh, all right.
Yeah. So I'm not sure
we
that.
have a table set up on October 13th at the farmer's market.
Okay. So at the farmer's market, White Cane Day.
Yes.
Go down. Are you going to be there, Doctor?
Oh, yeah, of course.
Yeah, okay. Go down and say hello to Dr. Jerry.
I'm going to have some material for the Critical School for the Blind and the Carroll Center for the Blind. And
Oh, great organizations.
and we try to get other people. So, oh, yeah, of course they are. Oh,
Yeah.
They're some of the best in the world.
Yeah,
And then, because we got the legislation day on November, 2 days before November 6th, which is November 4th, we have that legislation day that Brian Dempsey used to have.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
Now it's the Veterans Alliance Day for the donations for the veterans since they stopped them from collecting in the streets. So now we have that a special day for donations on that legislation breakfast day.
Right, okay. That's always the Sunday before the.
Were you there
I hardly ever miss them. I can't remember the last one I missed if I ever have. It's always the Sunday before the election.
Right.
And it's usually at the AMVETS. So at the AMVETS this year, I haven't received.
Veterans Alliance.
Yeah, and I want to give credit where credit is due. Mike McGonigal actually was the spearhead in getting that together with Mike Gingham Our former council president Mike Hart is involved, and they have a great board of people that care about the veterans, and they dispense that money based on need throughout the year. It's not like all of a sudden after that breakfast or something they just give a big check to somebody and hope they spend it right. They actually allocate that money, which is good because they make sure it gets properly pointed to the needy and the people that are best served.
They serve hospitalized veterans. They put on pizza parties, Halloween parties, Christmas parties.
It's a great year-round organization. Yeah.
They're trying to recruit new young veterans, which is needed in all the organizations.
Yes, it is.
And I just come back last summer from, I didn't even tell Brian that, I don't think. Because I talk to him once a week about Brian Langwood.
Yeah.
We were friends. And I'm one of the last blinded veterans that can make the national convention now because they're older and they're ill. Fortunately, I'm still healthy.
That's good then.
A lot of young ones not active, plus there ain't that many young ones now anyway. Unless there was a war, we don't want to wish for that.
No, we don't. We got enough conflict going on.
They honored me with a golden gavel plaque.
Nice.
From the National Convention, Blinded Veteran. A lot of times I didn't even know they realized I was there.
Very nice, very nice. My mother and father were very active with Haverhill AMVETs, and I grew up as an AMVET kid and have so much respect for what the veterans do and what they did as AMVETs, and I know that all the veterans organizations do. My mother used to go to Perkins Hospital for the Blind. They reach out and help all of the organizations that help.
Perkins, what for the blind?
Perkins, what is it? The Perkins School for the Blind.
Perkins School, yeah.
Yeah, and so there's so much good going on in this city that people often forget or don't even know what the veterans organizations are doing. So White Cane Day is going to be officially on the 15th, which is a Monday, and officially now that's the Monday of Columbus Day, but you're going to be at the Farmers Market in downtown Haverhill on the 13th, and I believe that kicks off at 10 o'clock in the morning, goes till 2 in the afternoon, if my memory is correct. Yep. All right. That's great. I got to jump to a break, and thank you, Doctor, for calling in. You have a great week.
Okay, always a pleasure, Bill. Keep up.
Always a pleasure here. Thank you. Thanks for listening. Thanks for calling.
Bye-bye.
All right, this is the Open Mic Show on a Monday night. We're here every Monday night from 6 until 8 p.m., and you can call in at 978-374-1900. We'll get back to more calls and conversation right after we take a short break on the Open Mic Show on WHAV 97.9 FM.
Open Mic!
Bill Macek and the new Open Mic will be...
Outreach Center, Make-A-Wish Foundation, and Katydid Foundation of Haverhill. These selfless charities are vital to our community, and Auto Fair takes great pride in helping. Auto Fair Subaru encourages everyone to see what they can do to help make our city and the surrounding areas a better place for everyone. There's a list of supported charities at autofairsubaru.com.
Wave weather.
Here's your wave weather forecast for Haverhill and the Merrimack Valley. Mainly cloudy skies tonight ahead of our next system. Another chilly night, lows around 46. A light breeze overall out of the east near 5 miles per hour. Rain arrives on Tuesday, and there could be some heavy downpours and patchy fog as well. Near 1 to 2 inches of rain possible, 5 to 15 mile an hour breeze, 65 degrees. Low temperatures really don't drop much at all. It will be rainy through the evening hours with more of a scattered rain chance as we go into the overnight. Fog will develop. Wednesday mainly cloudy with some fog and an isolated shower. Warmer, highs around 82. I'm WHAV meteorologist Brian Ivy. Your next wave weather in 30 minutes.
WHAV Open Mic.
From the Edwin V. Johnson Newsroom, 97.9 WHAV FM presents the new Open Mic Show with Bill Macek. Make your voice heard. Call 978-374-1900. That's 978-374-1900.
And we are back in this open line hour on the Open Mic Show. I'm Bill Macek. My special asset, Bill Ellis, is on a special project tonight, so he wasn't able to make it in. But I do believe he'll be here again next week. But right now we're doing open lines, 978-374-1900. And this is the last night. And before 7 o'clock, I'm going to draw out of our cowboy hat the winner of the Albie D's Bakery giveaway cake for either an October birthday or an October anniversary. And all you have to do in these last few minutes to get a name in is call in 978-374-1900. And who knows, maybe you'll sneak in and you'll be the last name going into the hat, and we'll pull it out first. You never know. Could happen. So let's see. I'm trying to read Chris's handwriting. And turn the phone. Oh, okay. We'll do that. How's that? Okay. Does that sound better? Okay. A little, not as echoey. We had a little slap back echo there, probably. Anyway, we're going to take your calls, and we can talk about anything that's on your mind tonight. Now, in the 7 o'clock hour, the new Haverhill Superintendent, Margaret Marotta, will be here. And she is going to talk about her education plan. She's going to talk about how Haverhill schools are doing and a whole bunch of things that are of interest to her that she wants to implement into the Haverhill school system. So get your questions ready and be listening. And even if you're just listening and you get a question because of something that was stated, give us a call, 978-374-1900. Right now it is 6:39. We're going until 7 o'clock. We'll take a top-of-the-hour break, and then we'll have our special guest, Superintendent Marotta, on the Open Mic Show. Now, there's something I just I found out about just recently that I want to share with all of you, because it's probably something you're not aware of. I wasn't, and I'm not sure that it's going to change anything in my life, but it certainly makes you aware of some things. Now, here's the question. What could unlock the secret to a happy marriage these days? Well, separate bedrooms might be the answer. Common wisdom is that there's trouble in paradise if couples sleep apart, but new figures show that nearly 40% of couples sleep in separate beds or bedrooms, and they're happier because they're getting a better night's sleep. And science backs all this up. The study shows that couples that sleep together one night and solo the next night, that the research of their brainwaves, it shows the result that the couples actually sleep better when they're not sleeping with their partner, because their brainwaves show that they're getting better sleep, deeper sleep. So keep that in mind if you're a little aggravated at times because of sleep deprivation. Well, maybe you should try maybe get a king size bed if you're sleeping on a regular size bed. That'll spread you out a little bit at least, or maybe sleep on the couch for a few nights. See how that works. Yeah, that happens, and the sleep deprivation has been linked to a higher risk of everything from heart disease to depression to relationship drama. In fact, the research shows that couples who have sleep problems have a much higher divorce rate. So you don't want that. So just a little information for you to remember and consider if you're having trouble in the bedroom. And I'm talking about sleep. All right, we have another call that's calling in on the birthday cake giveaway. So we're going to go to our call. Producer Chris, how are we looking? Caller is up. And hello, caller. What's your name? Hello, caller.
Dick Early.
Who?
Dick Early.
Dick Early. How are you, Dick?
Good.
Good. Who are you calling in for?
My wife and I, 38 years married, October 25th.
Congratulations. Congratulations. That's a nice run, and I hope you get another 38 at least. Okay, October 5th is the anniversary date for
25th.
25th. Okay, 25th. All right. Still, that's a good run. And everything going good in the bedroom? You sleeping okay?
I have no complaints, Bill.
Okay. You heard why I asked that, because you heard what I just read.
Yes, I do. I'm watching you right now. I watch it faithfully Monday nights.
Okay. I appreciate that. Thank you very much. And your name, the Early's name, is now in the hat for an anniversary cake.
Thank you.
Okay. Thanks for calling in. Anything else you'd like to comment on, or?
I'm all set. Thank you.
Okay, thanks a lot. Okay. All right. That's how easy it goes. 6:43 is the time right now. We're going till 7 o'clock with open lines, 978-374-1900. A little bit before 7 o'clock, Chris will bring in the cowboy hat. We really have a cowboy hat, and there really are names in it, and I'm going to pick one, and that lucky person is going to get a birthday or anniversary cake from Albie D's second generation Italian bakery located on South Main Street right in Bradford Square, and they've got all kinds of goodies. So even if you don't win the cake, you should make that a regular stop to go in and get bread, bakery goods, all kinds of stuff. So don't miss it. Check out Albie D's second generation Italian bakery, South Main Street, Bradford Square, right here in Haverhill. So you can call in if you have, we have a little bit, probably you got about 14 minutes left before we're going to pull the name out of the hat. But you still have time to get in a birthday in October or an anniversary in October. And we do have open lines, but we're going to be talking to School Superintendent Margaret Marotta, and she's coming in for the 7 o'clock hour. And I hope to get a lot of calls for her so that she knows that people really care about education and have some good questions lined up. Listen to what she has to say, and maybe it'll spur a conversation. What do you think about the Supreme Court Justice? You have any comments on that? Now, that's a national story, but it certainly is in the news everywhere. And it's interesting the way things are just popping up out of nowhere in the attempt to get him before the Senate for a vote. But we'll have to wait and see. I think it's still a little too early to predict, how that's going to turn out. And it's very close. We know it's very close. If you have a comment, you can give me a call, and we'll talk about that. There's lots of things going on. How do you like the new, I'm not really happy yet with the new construction of the roadway going up Main Street once you cross the Bradford Bridge, going up Main Street, kind of from Merrimack and Water, and from the intersection going up. And it's going to continue next year. It's going to go all the way up. They're going to reconfigure, redesign up past City Hall and into Monument Square. So there's still more changes as I see it. But I think one of the problems is the design seems to we used to have 3 lanes in that lower section going in all directions. You always had 3 lanes, kind of a center lane to go straight, left and right. Well, they took those away. Now you've got 2 lanes for a portion, and then near the end, it opens up to a 3rd lane. But what I've seen happen, what I've got caught up in, is that because it's only 2 lanes wide, once the traffic, if it's heavy traffic, if it gets backed up a little bit there because of a red light, people can't even get into, say, the left lane. They're stuck, so they have to go in the middle lane, and then as it starts to move, they'll go over to the left lane. But it's really backing traffic up. I've been backed up into the intersection at some very busy times in the afternoon, and that's not what we're looking for. So the only thing I can say is that I hope that maybe the signalization either hasn't been fully implemented that it isn't synchronized properly yet, or that they'll be able to make some changes to what they thought was going to work because the traffic is heavier than maybe it was expected. But that's a state project, and we'll have to rely on the Mass DPW to figure out how they can best solve the backups that we're now starting to see since the new construction has been implemented and they've changed some of the lane configurations. If you have any thoughts like that, want to talk about Haverhill, this is the time, 978-374-1900. We're also into the fall, but the trees this year are not cooperating. The trees are still staying pretty green. There's a little bit of color. You see a little bit of color, but usually by this time of year, we're starting to see a little bit more, but I think the cooler nights are probably right around the corner, and we're going to be seeing our fall foliage before we know it. Lots of things going on. Did you make it to River Ruckus? Team Haverhill's River Ruckus, another success. They had another good day. Got a little chilly at night, but not too bad. And it's always a great day, and it's a great event to go to. So I'm sure that most of you did go to River Ruckus, and we're real appreciative of all the good things that Team Haverhill does for Haverhill. And they're just kind of a volunteer group. They do raise some money so they can do things. Like they did the mural, that incredible mural on Essex Street. We can thank them for that and so many other things that they've done throughout the city. They were really part of the catalyst to get the farmers market up and going again because it had faded away. So I definitely want to thank Team Haverhill and for all the good things they do, and I hope they keep doing for us here in Haverhill. We have one more break coming up, so we're gonna pause for that right now on the Open Mic Show, and we will be right back with a little bit more open line conversation and just discussion, and then we're going to draw the cake, and then next hour, the new superintendent for the Haverhill school system, Margaret Marotta, will be on the mic right after our 7 o'clock break. So keep it right here on the Open Mic Show at WHAV 97.9 FM.
Open mic!
Bill Macek and the new Open Mic will be right back. Get in on the action. Call 978-374-1900. If you're enjoying this program, consider becoming a WHAV member right now. Just click on the membership tab at WHAV.net.
97.9 WHAV.
Catch the wave!
When the Haverhill School Committee meets, 97.9 WHAV FM is there live from Haverhill City Hall. Class sizes, special education, teacher hiring, and spending are among the topics covered Thursday nights at 7 when the school committee is in session. WHAV's live coverage is presented in part as a public service by Youth and Powerhouse, formerly Girls Inc.
WHAV Open Mic!
From the Edwin V. Johnson Newsroom, 97.9 WHAV FM presents the new Open Mic Show with Bill Macek. Make your voice heard. Call 978-374-1900. That's 978-374-1900.
Okay, we are back, and this is the final turn here in the 6 o'clock hour. We're here every Monday night on WHAV with the Open Mic Show from 6 until 8. It is 6:50 right now, and we're going to be drawing for the cake from LBD's Second Generation Bakery in Bradford Square. But first, we have a phone call that we'd like to take. Hello, caller.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi, Bill.
How are you? Who's this?
I'm doing well. This is Louis. I live rather nearby the construction on Main Street.
Okay.
Actually, I wanted to mention something. I have your name written all over the place in my place. I think I have a notepad with your name on it.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
first time caller, first time listener. So it's kind of a moment for me.
You must have run into me during a campaign season because I give out scratch pads.
Well, it was a pleasure then, and it's a pleasure now.
All right. If you run out anytime, even if I've got extras, so you can call me if you run out, and I'll give you more scratch pads.
Will do. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you for taking my call. I just wanted to make not a suggestion, more a comment regarding the construction. And I believe they had the best intentions in mind. Obviously, trying to make the traffic go smoother. It's been a disaster as far as I can see it.
Well, the lighting was really old, and the problem was the lighting was not capable of handling the traffic counts because they only had so many seconds that they could program the lights. So now at least we're getting new equipment. The new digital equipment will allow us to adapt to traffic counts and flow the traffic better, hopefully.
Well, I think regarding that and the pedestrian light as well, I think they had maybe in mind that people would be a bit more considerate, especially I think they last a little less than usual than they did before.
Well, actually, it's my understanding that like the big cities now, Haverhill is going. They're not going in order to have the proper synchronization, not get messed up by a walk light at one of the lighting corners. You're going to be walking kind of against the traffic, not so. But when the traffic is going, say, across the bridge, you're going to be crossing the street, but you'll get a walk light. But you're going to have to be careful because there is possibility of people turning into your street
right now.
Yeah, and that's the way it's going to stay. And that's the way the state now says in order to flow more traffic, there is not going to be a total stop of the traffic for a walk light. So,
well, Bill, I'm sure you have someone I could call. Who would you recommend I call regarding that? Because I live in that building in the corner.
Yeah.
And I'm as a father of three. People just. I'm not going to say they don't care. Maybe they don't see me trying to cross. So I guess the state maybe had in mind that people would be considerate regarding other people trying to cross the street or just driving, trying to cross from one side or the other. People don't care.
Well,
so maybe I don't
think
know.
you're
I'm
right.
not blaming the state. I don't know who to blame, but I think it should be addressed, this issue.
Well, I think that if you want to reach out to somebody, you should probably call 311. 311 is becoming our report center for any problems or concerns that you have. And we're very fortunate to have that constituent service program in City Hall. And if you speak to one of the operators at 311 and ask them to deliver your message to who should best hear that message. And I think that's the way, I'm sure the mayor will hear it. I'm on the city council. I'm going to hear it, but it's the state that needs to hear it. And that might be John Pettis, our city engineer, who could best relay to the state because he's really working hand in glove with that project. John is a former state engineer, so he knows all the players. So it's maybe something that we want to make sure he hears too. But I will certainly try to get the message out for you, but if you make a call yourself to 311 during the day, I think that would be the best way to try to get your concern heard and addressed.
You know what, Bill? I'll tell them you personally sent me.
Okay.
I appreciate the time, and I appreciate you taking my call.
And I appreciate you calling in, so don't be a stranger. Thanks for listening, and please call in again anytime.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot, Louis. Okay.
Bye.
All right. It's 5 minutes till 7, and I think we're going to take the cowboy hat into the studio now, Chris. Our producer is going to bring the cowboy hat in. This is for the October drawing. We're drawing the information of birthdays and people that have called in for birthdays and anniversaries. Wow, a lot of names in here. We had a lot of entries this month. We're going to go with this one right here, and we're going to give away a cake for either a birthday or an anniversary to, this is going to Brian. Won't read the last name because a lot of times people are concerned about that. But Brian, we're going to let you know that you have won the cake. And congratulations. Thanks for entering. And we're going to do it again. We do it next month. We'll start next Monday night. We'll be on the 1st of October. So next Monday night, we will be looking for November birthdays and anniversaries right here on the Open Mic Show. So it's that simple. We give away stuff, and I just want to say one more time that we want to thank Auto Fair Subaru, because this hour of the new Open Mic Show is sponsored in part by Auto Fair Subaru, located at 503 Broadway, which is Route 97 in Haverhill, right off Interstate 495 at exit 50. And one more reminder that the 7 o'clock hour, which is just minutes away, right after we finish with the top of the hour information, we're going to have a special guest. Haverhill's new school superintendent, Margaret Marotta, will be here speaking to you, and we'll be conversing here on the Open Mic Show. We'll be talking about what's going on in the Haverhill education system. And if you have a question, please do call in 978-374-1900. And if you have any guests or anything in mind for the future, you can also call in. I want this to be your show. I want you to, not be uncomfortable calling in. We welcome all calls, and this is all about talking and conversing about what's going on, about concerns you might have, talking about birthdays and anniversaries a little bit. We talk about everything here on the Open Mic Show. And we also talk about state and national things, too. And we're very fortunate that we were not part of the Columbia gas explosions here in Haverhill. And we did, of course, lend assistance to them. And we sent a lot of people their way from our departments to try and assist. And it's going to take a long time to try and get that all worked out. So, we wish them all well. And if you can, any contributions that you can make to help those people, I know firsthand from some of my friends that live in those communities that they are really up against it. And, it's almost like what happened, not quite as bad, but, the Carolinas are being hit hard and being wiped out. A lot of those people were wiped out where they lived, and we want to reach out to them and help them in any way possible. This is the Open Mic Show. We are here every Monday night, 6 to 8 p.m. I'm Bill Macek. Usually I got my sidekick, Bill Ellis, here, but he's doing something tonight that he wasn't able to make it in, but we believe he'll be here again next week. And we got our guests lined up. We're still looking at the November elections. We're going to be bringing in some of the finishers, the people that we've got offers out to a number of the candidates that are going to be in the November election. So we'll be talking some more of that. And we're just going to keep this show going. We really enjoy being here. So keep it right here at 97.9 FM, WHAV.
Open Mic!
Bill Macek and the new Open Mic will be right back. Get in on the action. Call 978-374-1900. If you're enjoying this program, consider becoming a WHAV member right now. Just click on the membership tab at whav.net.
It's 6:59.
WHAV LP Haverhill.
Here's what's happening in local news. A 19-year-old Haverhill woman was killed just after midnight Sunday morning after her car crashed into a wooded area between lanes off I-495. 19-year-old Katie Ramirez of the Bradford section of the city was found unresponsive in her car just south of exit 41 in Andover, according to Massachusetts State Police. She was driving northbound on 495 in a 2013 Honda Accord when she apparently veered left and struck trees in the median, said a report by Trooper Andrew Valeri and Kevin Delgado of the Andover Barracks. Troopers found Ramirez unresponsive and administered CPR. Andover Fire Department followed, took her to Lawrence General Hospital, and she was pronounced dead. The crash remains under investigation. Arraigned on unlicensed firearms charged Friday, Haverhill's Elijah Oliver appointed a new attorney who cast doubt that the handgun found in the police cruiser belonged to his client. Instead, attorney Alex Moskovsky pointed fingers at the three officers that carried out what was called a brief pat frisk of Oliver when he was arrested at his 257 Lowell Avenue home Thursday morning. As WHAV previously reported, the 19-year-old Oliver was handcuffed amid the pat frisk that resulted in found marijuana, but not the Smith & Wesson 9mm loaded with 7 bullets. Acknowledging the pat frisk was likely done hastily given the circumstances, Oliver's attorney placed blame on the three officers, including a state police trooper who was on the scene.
It's one thing if there was no pat frisk of my client, but 3 separate officers or 3 officers, if they're all together, I get it, are doing that. I think there's a little bit light bulb that was wrong. It's just that something went wrong. And I think that rises, or that at least opens the idea that there may not be probable cause as to whether my client had that gun. Just because he's in the back seat. I don't know the gun wasn't in there before.
In a police report obtained by WHAV, Patrolman Penny Portala said the firearm had to have come from Oliver. According to Portala, she drove the cruiser. Oliver's hands were cuffed behind his back, but he was observed during the drive to the police station, possibly trying to free his hands. He then leaned against the door where the gun was later found. At the police station, when Oliver was being taken from the car, Portala quietly noticed the gun. For officer safety, Patrolman David McCallion secured Oliver's feet in leg shackles before Portela announced the gun discovery. During the booking process, Oliver, who police said was a known gang member with ties to drive-by shooting victim Nike Cologne, told Haverhill detective Sean Sharnack he was in fear and willing to do whatever it takes to protect himself and his family. On Friday, Judge Stephen Abani ordered Oliver held without bail until a September 27th dangerousness hearing. Oliver's other outstanding cases, including the Lawrence-related case whose warrant triggered the arrest, and a 2017 charge of alleged assault and battery, were also expected to be addressed next week, according to Assistant DA Tom Scholz. Mayor Fiorentini's newly appointed 11-member panel meets for the first time on Wednesday, the 26th, to discuss the relocation of the current Vietnam War Memorial from the Water Street side of the Basilier Bridge to Mill Street Park. Co-chaired by Chris Smards and Ralph Basilier, the nephew of Haverhill's first Vietnam casualty, the committee eventually plans to fundraise for and commission the design of an updated memorial to be installed at the Mill Street location. In the meantime, Basilier tells WHAV the commission has received early support from Haverhill businesses eager to donate their time and talents. Among them is Atwood Memorials, whose owner Rick Atwood agreed to relocate the current memorial free of charge. Daveco Excavations' Jay Davidowitz plans to move the flagpole and install a 16-foot granite enclosure at the Mill Street site, also free of charge, Basilier said. The full committee includes Michael Ingham, the city's Veterans Services Director, John Ratka of Northeast Veterans Outreach Center, and fellow veterans Keith Gopsill and Gerald Boucher, Linda Brown, and councilors Melinda Barrett, Joseph Bevilacqua, and Thomas Sullivan will also take part. Wednesday's meeting is open to the public, held in room 301 of City Hall, 4 Summer Street, starting at 7 p.m. Remember, WHAV is the only Haverhill-based news source. There's always more at WHAV.net. In the Edwin V. Johnson Newsroom, I'm Eric Scott.
From Feature Story News in Washington, I'm Rebecca Foster. The U.S. Deputy Attorney General is set to meet with President Trump Thursday after a day of back and forth over whether he'll remain in the post. Speaking from the United Nations General Assembly, President Trump said a second summit with Kim Jong-un may happen soon. And China has hit back at the U.S. after the Trump administration slapped them with tariffs worth $200 billion.
Wave weather.
Here's your wave weather forecast for Haverhill and the Merrimack Valley. Mainly cloudy skies tonight ahead of our next system. Another chilly night, lows around 46. A light breeze overall out of the east near 5 miles per hour. Rain arrives on Tuesday and there could be some heavy downpours and patchy fog as well. Near 1 to 2 inches of rain possible, 5 to 15 mile an hour breeze, 65 degrees. Low temperatures really don't drop much at all. It will be rainy through the evening hours with more of a scattered rain chance as we go into the overnight. Fog will develop. Wednesday mainly cloudy with some fog and an isolated shower. Warmer, highs around 82. I'm WHAV meteorologist Brian Ivy. Your next wave weather in 30 minutes.
Broadcasting on the Armstrong FM system, this is 97.9 WHAV. 97.9 FM WHAV.
Catch the wave, WHAV, Merrimack Valley. Open mic.
From the Edwin V. Johnson Newsroom, 97.9 WHAV FM presents the new Open Mic Show with Bill Macek. Make your voice heard. Call 978-374-1900. That's 978-374-1900.
And we are back on the Open Mic Show right here at 97.9 FM WHAV. I'm Bill Macek, and this is the Open Mic Show, and our special guest this hour is our new school superintendent in Haverhill, Margaret Marotta. Welcome to the Open Mic Show.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Pleasure to be here.
Thank you for coming in. We're working you late because school starts early, right? You must have started early in the morning, and here you are. So,
it's a long day, but
yeah, I bet you have a lot of late nights doing stuff because you're just taking over, and
there's a lot of good work to be done.
A lot of full plate, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
So, where do we start? What do you? We haven't really had any conversation prior. We're cold here. But that's the way to go, right? We're just having a conversation. So,
sure.
So, how do you feel about coming to Haverhill?
Oh, I'm really excited about coming to Haverhill. Yeah. It's been a great entry for me.
I'm just going to move your mic a little bit so we can get the best voice quality for you. Okay.
Absolutely.
All right.
So there's been, it's been a great entry. Met lots of really fantastic people, been through the schools, seen lots of kids having fun and learning. So it's been a good entry.
And you came from Salem, Massachusetts.
I did.
Which is not totally different than Haverhill. It has a lot of similar city type things going on, right?
Absolutely.
Within the school system.
Yeah, they're actually pretty similar demographics in a lot of ways. Actually, when the Department of Education compares cities to Haverhill, they have 6 or 8 what they call comparable communities, and Salem is one of them.
Yeah,
it's pretty similar.
Great. So you've looked at the budget, I'm sure.
I have.
Which is always kind of the toolbox.
Absolutely.
And what are the things that you got your eye on anything special that you would like to try and make improvements in, or just make changes in?
Yeah, I think so. I'm just sort of spending the first couple of months getting to know the city and assessing everything, understanding the way all the different departments work together or don't in some situations.
Yeah.
I've certainly identified some early indicators of things that I think could use some work. I think it's not going to come to any surprise to any of the families out there that some of the facilities need some work.
Yeah, we do. Every time I go in hunking, I say 1 down, probably 3 more to go.
Absolutely.
It's a great goal, right?
Yeah.
It's not going to happen quickly, but I think we should try. I'd like to see the level of or the assets that are in that school for the kids to be spread to other areas of the city, so everybody's kind of on an even playing field.
Yeah.
Where I just think that it's important that everybody has that advantage of what that school actually has in it. It's a 21st century school.
It is a beautiful school, and I've said that myself. Actually, that's one of sort of the 3 big buckets of work that I've sort of shared with the staff on the opening day, and the way that I look at the work. They're about equity, right? Making sure that all kids have similar opportunities in their school, and it's about access, right?
Right. Yeah.
And then it's about excellence, right? Because you don't want access and equity to mediocre things, right? So we really need to define what excellence is across our school system and have it be consistent from school to school and classroom to classroom.
Don't you think we have a great faculty, though, and just everything? We have great people in Haverhill, and even the kids, it's just a good cross section of kids all across the city, and I think we need to give them every opportunity we can, and I'm sure you're in agreement.
Absolutely. I mean, I love sort of the urban work and sort of the feel of Haverhill, which is urban, suburban. It's sort of a nice mix. And I think that all the people I've met has been fantastic. The classrooms I've been into, the teachers are working hard, and they're eager for more direction and curriculum materials and just to really get going.
No, I know. There's a lot of dedicated teachers in our system for sure.
Absolutely.
Probably all of them. And I want to let everybody know that they can call in if they have a question. If they have a child that is in one of the schools and you have a question for the superintendent, give us a call, 978-374-1900. That's the number to call in to the Open Mic Show tonight. We're talking with the Haverhill superintendent. You came on board July 1st? Were you, you officially July. For the fiscal year, yeah?
Yep.
And you started to get ready a little bit in advance, but before you knew it, it was school day.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's 2 months comes, they go over
flies.
quickly. They sure do. Yeah.
So do you actually go around to the schools? Are you showing your face everywhere and people get to know you? And
Yep.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah. You made a couple of changes, right? You brought some new positions in, I think?
We do. We've had a few new positions. We were able to bring in a director of English language learners, which in a community like Haverhill, someone to really solidify those programs and make sure that we're doing everything we can to make sure that our teachers understand how to work best and improve the English language development of our kids, and just give the kids the best possible chance for success.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, I heard some recent statistics about the number of families. This was nationwide. It was a census statistic, but it's amazing how many families don't speak English at home.
Right.
Yeah, so the kids have to be bilingual, or you'd like to think they are striving to do that because it's so important. I mean, you see the job listings today.
Mm-hmm.
And unfortunately, I took my 2 years of Spanish in high school when I went, but I don't remember much of it. But it's so important to have a bilingual ability. Certain jobs they are seeking, people that are bilingual. So it's an advantage for them to know English, and usually Spanish is the other language. So.
Absolutely, and it's really important for our students that are sort of native Spanish speakers or speak Spanish at home. Oftentimes, although they speak it at home, they don't have access to the grammar or some of the literacy skills to really be truly bilingual.
Right.
So we want to get kids who are native speakers access to supports in Spanish language as well as in English so that they can graduate and truly be bilingual in the workplace.
That's great. And it's all an effort. It's all trying to strive to do better. You learn from doing. So, as we push forward in that direction, we'll do better at it every year.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And there's some wonderful things happening in Haverhill, but, there's always room to grow, and that sort of real push forward, I think, is really important, and it's sort of our next place to really improve.
How about sports? How do you feel our sports are?
I think the sports are incredible.
Yeah, I think we got some pretty good coaches and some good setups.
Absolutely. And incredibly impressive. The facilities there are wonderful. And Mr. O'Brien is just a great athletics director.
Yeah.
Really hardworking, and it's really exciting to
we
be
got
part
the
of
crew
that.
team now too.
I know.
Isn't that special that I never thought Haverhill High would have a crew team, and now we're trying to find a boathouse for them.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. That's the hope, and it's such a wonderful opportunity if there were a boathouse for the whole community, right?
It would
Not
be.
just for the kids.
Yeah. Yeah.
Really
I think we'll end up figuring it out. We
Yeah.
usually do.
Yeah,
but,
absolutely. Being
yeah.
on the river is such a great opportunity.
Yeah.
Why not have a crew team?
Right. So, hey, we got to take a short break. It's just about 7:15 right now. We're going to be talking with our new school superintendent, Margaret Marotta, right here on the Open Mic Show. So if you have a question, we'd like you to call in, 978-374-1900 on the Open Mic on WHAV 97.9 FM.
Open Mic!
Bill Macek and the new Open Mic will be right back. Get in on the action. Call 978-374-1900. If you're enjoying this program, consider becoming a WHAV member right now. Just click on the membership tab at WHAV.net.
Your membership enables WHAV to remain local and independent. Consider joining at WHAV.net.
Catch the wave!
Melinda's Garden Moments help gardeners create and maintain a healthy, beautiful garden with ease, inside or out and all year long. This is Melinda Myers, inviting you to tune in every weekday morning right here on WHAV. You'll learn creative ways to grow your own vegetables and herbs while beautifying your landscape. Eco-friendly lawn care, flower garden design basics, unique container gardens, attracting birds and butterflies to the landscape, and much more. Again, please join me weekday mornings for Melinda's Garden Moment for a very environmentally friendly approach to gardening. Remember, only local radio can bring you this feature opportunity, but only WHAV does.
Community Spotlight.
Haverhill book lovers in their 20s and 30s are invited to join the library's Get Lit Book Club that meets the third Monday of every month at the Peddler's Daughter downtown. Book choices are listed online at haverhillpl.org. No advance registration is necessary, and readers don't have to have finished the book to attend. For more information, call Abby Porter at 978-373-1586, extension 608. Someone you know is on WHAV. To submit or read your own nonprofit announcements, click on the Contact tab at WHAV.net or email news@WHAV.net. In the Edwin V. Johnson Newsroom, I'm Eric Scott.
Open mic!
From the Edwin V. Johnson Newsroom, 97.9 WHAV FM presents the new Open Mic Show with Bill Macek. Make your voice heard. Call 978-374-1900. That's 978-374-1900.
Okay, we are back on the Open Mic Show. Bill Macek here, along with our guest for this hour, School Superintendent Margaret Marotta. She's here for your questions, and we actually have a caller online. I think it's Jerry, so I've been told. Jerry.
Good evening.
Good evening. How are you?
I'm fine. I'm getting along, you know.
Yeah.
I graduated from high school in 1945.
Nice.
A long time ago.
Yeah.
And that's why I wanted to at least ask a question to the new superintendent. Does she think that the classic subjects will come back? What goes around, like it's like a sine curve, they say. What goes around comes around, classic studies, like when I graduated from high school, it was a mandate that you had to complete a course in civics and a course in American history.
Mm-hmm.
You couldn't graduate without those two courses. Now it isn't mandatory, and maybe that's one of the reasons why we don't. A lot of people don't know much about government and etc.
Sure.
Okay, so I think Jerry would like to know if the curriculum you think will be adjusted in your tenure here in Haverhill.
Yeah, I think the curriculum's constantly adjusting, but there are a core group of subjects that we've been studying in schools for hundreds of years. I think the way we address those subjects and the technology that we use in classrooms now is changing, but some of the core academics of history, of social studies, of languages is pretty consistent.
And they should probably be consistent. Yeah. Every once in a while you hear about changes that are being made in textbooks. I don't even know how many textbooks are being read anymore, right? Mm-hmm. A lot of online stuff, a lot of computer stuff. But is it Texas that has like control over the education of the country almost? Because they kind of edit and add to or take from a lot of our books?
That's what they say, yeah. A lot of the publishers are in Texas, and they seem to have a lot of a lot of power in Texas over the curriculum that's put out there nationally, and of course we have the Common Core curriculum now that we all sort of address. But we augment, the textbooks with online resources so that kids don't necessarily get everything from one perspective.
That's true. You can always add a little regionalism or something to the content of whatever topic it is. Jerry, anything else on your mind?
I had an idea, and maybe the superintendent could think a little about it.
Sure.
It's kind of an analogous to a program that was being run by the New England Water Works. It was called the Young Professionals, and basically included a walkthrough and discussion, and some more or less presentations for those kinds of children, students that don't really think they're going to go to college, but they want to be professionals. It was for trying to cultivate a program which would aid in the enlistment of treatment operators for both wastewater and water supply. And the other thing that I was thinking of was during the summertime, there's a lot of vacation happen in city government, and my father years ago, he used to call St. Mary's School in Lawrence, and obviously the nuns would send their best and brightest, and he would take two girls to Hammer Machine Company, and they would work as secretaries to fill in during the summer months. And it worked out great. In fact, what happened was eventually those two girls became employees of Hammer Machine Company. And I was just thinking the other day, why not incorporate this something in conjunction with the high school during the summer months, and maybe even if there was some kind of orientation to it, and some classroom work, not classroom work, but some lectures, they could get a credit towards the classical program in civics, government administration, or something like that.
Those are good ideas, Jerry.
It would be giving them a head start on when they go to college, if they did wish, and at the same time, it would be really helping the municipality get through the summer months when everybody wants to be at Old Orchard Beach or Salisbury or whatever.
Thanks, Jerry. We appreciate your call. Thanks for calling in. I think what he's saying is that, we have the VOTEC schools now, but they're full to capacity. And I think there's probably more kids that want to get in. I know there's more kids that want to get in. So, but don't we have some skilled learning at the high school? I think we do.
Yeah, we absolutely do, and I think what he's talking about. It's the idea that while every child might not go to college, every child should access some sort of post-secondary education and have some opportunities to really have a meaningful job and wage when they get out of high school. And that's it sounds like that's what they were working on.
Way back.
Yeah, way back when, and we're still working on it today.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah. And I think it's also the categories. He mentioned a certain category, but you also, I think, already have some categories at the high school, whether it's woodworking, craftsmanship, that kind of stuff. I don't know exactly what they are, but I'm not asking you
to
name
no, and we have
them
computer science, and we have internships.
The tech stuff
absolutely
is the 21st century. So it's real important that we try to give people an opportunity to get into a field rather than have to go on to college to decide where they go. Some, as he said, and I believe it's true, not everybody is really the right person to go on to college education. Some of them should go into a profession.
Yeah, I think
and they do well doing that, too. It's not like there's anything wrong with that. Matter of fact, I think the people that come out of the VOTEC probably, a lot of them end up having better jobs than a lot of the people that go on to college will ever get, because they're in professions that are really sought after now. And the people that are willing to sometimes get their hands a little dirty are the ones that are getting paid a great hourly rate. So Thank you for that answer, and we're going to move on. We have another call already here, and so we're going to go to this phone line. Hello, caller.
Hello, Mr. Macek.
Yes, Bill's fine. Bill.
Yes, Superintendent, welcome to Haverhill.
Well, thank
Good to
you.
have you.
Thank you. Pleasure to be here.
Yes. I have a question for you. How well integrated into the curriculum as is the treatment of opioid abuse? Is there a great concentration of study and speakers to have kids become aware of the dangers of opioid abuse?
I would say that there is probably not enough emphasis on that, although it is woven throughout the curriculum. Certainly this year at the high school, they've implemented an advisory period, a social emotional learning block that occurs on a routine basis, and sort of awareness around drug use and abuse and different kinds of issues and social concerns are woven into that curriculum, where kids meet in small groups with an adult on a regular basis and have conversations about those sorts of things. So we're trying to get better at that, but I clearly there's not enough, or we wouldn't have the problems that we have really across the state and the nation.
It's a work in progress. I can say, if I could just say that I know that the city council is aware that you need more people also with that professional expertise
Absolutely.
to talk to those kids.
Absolutely. We do. I think one of the things Haverhill could really benefit from at this point is more folks like that, more counselors in our schools, more supports for our kids so that they can be ready to access their education more effectively.
Superintendent, is it your feeling that most of the, a great deal of the concentration dealing with opioid abuse should be presented in the lower grades, because it seems that's the formative years of our youth, and that's where lots of the problems initiate. I wonder how you feel about that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a big proponent of prevention, right, in all aspects. We need to prepare kids from the time that they're young to understand, what the dangers are in the world and how to be, resilient, how to protect themselves, and to be aware of what's out there, be it opioids or any of the things that happen, unfortunately, in our society.
Sure. Are there plans for speakers this year? Because I'm very impressed with certain organizations in the area that offer speakers, and I hope we will take advantage of them, particularly younger people.
Absolutely.
Particularly younger people, because those are the ones the kids listen to mostly.
Yeah, they can relate to somebody their same age. Yeah, sometimes better. But I know what you're talking about, the speakers. I've also heard that we need to have a budget for speakers, because some of them actually like to get paid for coming out.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Well, if you want good people, just like in education, you want good teachers, you
got
to
pay for them. That's right, yeah. So, but that's all, she's...
That would be a very timely subject for a discussion with the school committee, to have funding to get good people.
Right, but the superintendent is kind of working with a Jim Scully budget for the first year, so we'll see. She can move things around and work with what she has, but I think that may be something that moving forward, we'll probably hopefully put a little more money, a little more emphasis into, because it's so important to make sure the kids know what to say no, I guess.
Absolutely, and that kind of programming does cost money. There are things that we can do for free as well, and great organizations out there that do this.
Now, is UTEC working with the school system at all, or are they working just on the streets?
The UTEC is working on the streets and with the police department, not specifically in Haverhill with the school department. I know in Lowell they work with the school department.
But even on the streets, they're talking to kids.
Absolutely.
And they're trying to get them on the right course.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we had them in as a guest, and
oh, you did?
They were great. Yeah,
nice.
It was really exciting to hear what they have done in Lowell, and hopefully what they're going to accomplish here in Haverhill.
Yeah, that's a wonderful organization.
Yeah, absolutely. Anything else, caller?
Yeah. The YMCA,
absolutely.
The YWCA, the Boys Club, those places have a lot of people who deal with this daily. And it's to me, would be an invaluable resource to come into the school.
Absolutely. I was just over at the YMCA today touring the facility with the high school principal and meeting Javier, the new director, and we were making plans to have a college night at the Boys Club because
Excellent.
not everyone attends the college night at the high school, and the Boys Club has a group of kids whose families really need that information, and so we're going to go to them.
Excellent. Great. Great.
And one more thing.
Sure.
As we know, parental involvement is essential for success in any school system. And if there are presentations about opioids or anything, I strongly recommend that somehow we have bilingual people. Not to say that a presentation has to be done completely in foreign language, but we should have people feel comfortable coming to seminars about drugs and so forth if they know, in fact, there are people with whom they can communicate.
Great point.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more, and I think, we need to do a better job of getting, folks who speak a variety of languages to all things in all of our schools.
Sure.
That's lots of room for improvement there. So we're excited to get on that.
Yeah.
Well, look, all the success in the world to
Well,
you.
thank you.
I wish you the best. And Mr. Macek, keep up your good work with your program. I think it's very enlightening.
Thank you very much. I appreciate the compliment, and thanks for calling in. Thanks for listening. Okay. Call anytime. All right. Well, that was a lot of good questions, a lot of good information that he, asked about, and I think those are all good things that you'll move forward on. But as I said, it's going to take time. Everything takes time, and we all realize that. And but we want to work with you in any way possible, and try to make the school a little different. I mean, Scully did a good job, but I think it's time for you to now go in and do what you think's best, and I'm sure you will. Now, can you hang around a little bit longer?
Absolutely.
All right,
Sure.
good. We're going to take a short break. We're talking to the new Haverhill School Superintendent, Margaret Marotta, and we'll be right back with more conversation and maybe even more of your phone calls at 978-374-1900 on the Open Mic Show on WHAV 97.9 FM.
Open mic!
Bill Macek and the new Open Mic will be right back. Edwin V. Johnson Newsroom, 97.9 WHAV FM presents the new Open Mic Show with Bill Macek. Make your voice heard. Call 978-374-1900. That's 978-374-1900.
And yes, we are back from the Open Mic Show. This is Bill Macek. Our guest this hour is the new Haverhill Superintendent, Margaret Marotta. And she's taking calls, and we're having conversation, and we're just having a great time, aren't we?
We are.
Yeah, look at that smile. See? Yeah,
too bad.
she was a little nervous, but we're breaking her in good. She'll be an Open Mic regular. Yeah, we'll even have you calling in just to make a comment on things that are going on. Anytime. Yeah, always welcome. But I would like to just mention that this hour of the new Open Mic Show is sponsored in part by Auto Fair Subaru, 503 Broadway in Haverhill, right off I-495 at exit 50. So if you're looking for a car, head that way and check them out, because they're helping to bring this program to you on a Monday night, every Monday night, 6 to 8 on WHAV. Okay, let's get back to more school talk.
All right.
All right. Now, you came from Salem, and what came with you was a reputation that you really knew special ed, and that you had done a great job for Salem.
Thank you.
So, yeah. So, do you want to? Have you been around long enough in Haverhill to have kind of eyeballed? Because that's a very expensive department.
It is a very expensive department.
And I heard you saved Salem money and also improved the services.
Yeah.
So that's all we're looking for here. Like, just wave a wand and make that happen, will you?
Yeah. Well, it didn't happen overnight.
I bet. Yeah.
It took a sort of a good year in Salem of really just trying to get a lay of the land and figuring out how we could realign things and do things better.
Yeah.
And so by the time we were ready for our first budget, I was able to make some proposals to the school district to implement the next year that would allow us to better serve our kids. And then it took a full year of implementation before we really saw the outcomes.
Yeah.
I think one of the things that we did in Salem that was really important was to make sure that all the special education teachers and staff were evaluated by an administrator or a person that knew special education.
That makes sense.
It makes sense,
Yeah.
doesn't it? But it
doesn't always
happen.
huh?
It doesn't happen in
Yeah.
a lot of places. And then folks are doing the best they can, but they're doing it without any real guidance of somebody who deeply understands what they should be doing.
Sure.
And it's a very
And I bet they do a better job just because they've been kind of schooled in a certain way.
Absolutely. It's a highly specialized program, and when you do anything that's very specific, if you're going to get feedback on that, the feedback needs to be very specific.
And also, everybody's thinking the same. If
Exactly.
they've been taught by one person or a group of people that are always, teaching in a certain manner, suggesting that they do things in a certain manner. So, yeah, makes a lot of sense. So, now special needs can come up out of nowhere because, I know Haverhill has a reputation, and I think I'm proud of it.
Mm-hmm.
But people know that if they have a special needs child, if they come to Haverhill, they're going to get good care.
Mm-hmm.
And so we want to make sure we're doing that. We want to give the best care.
Absolutely.
And some of the kids, though, can cost us six-figure money just for what they need for services.
Yeah, I mean, the services for some kids are highly specialized, right? And we just want to make sure that we are giving every student what they need. And if we can do some of those services well inside the school district instead of sending the student outside the school district, it's still expensive, but we're not paying for things like transportation, which is very expensive.
Right.
And there's also then a sort of an added benefit for the other kids when we've got highly trained people in the buildings who understand
Sure.
the needs of kids.
Now, I know Mayor Ferrantini is very big on education,
Mhm.
and he wants to, sometimes he talks about expanding the school day or year, so
Yep.
it's summer.
Yep.
Is that something you think we might be looking at down the road?
Yeah, I think possibly. I've worked in both Boston and Salem where you had schools with extended school days. I think it has to be done very thoughtfully. You want to make sure that time is well used. You don't want to give kids just more of a mediocre day.
Right, not just another longer study after school, right?
Exactly,
Yeah,
exactly. So it has to be really well thought out.
Quality.
But if you think things out, if you have both interventions for kids that are targeted to their needs and fun things, because 8 hours is a long time to be in school, so you have to balance it.
Yeah.
Then it can be really useful for kids.
How about the school day? There was talk. We really didn't pull the trigger on it, I don't think, but moving it a little later. But I think it has to work also with parents, and because in a sense, school is almost like daycare, no matter what age the kids are, up to a certain age at least. The parents depend on the school. I drop my kid or kids off, and then I go to work, and then I get out in time to pick them up, or somebody does, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. You're talking about moving it later in the morning?
Yeah, there was talk of that
Early
last
high
year.
school.
I think there was other communities in Massachusetts too that were thinking about it. I think it had something to do with daylight savings time or regular Eastern time, and the kids were going to school in the dark and kind of getting out in the dark, which makes it kind of a long day.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's something that's on the table. I also think maybe potentially staggering the starts of our school time is on the table, where the schools, all the elementaries and middle schools start at essentially the same time now.
Right.
And that's a busing sort of a drain on our busing
You need
abilities.
more buses that way.
Yeah. So all those things, I think, are things that we need to think of moving forward. A lot of cities and towns are flipping when the middle schools start, or the elementary schools versus the high schools, because we know teenagers like to sleep.
Yeah.
And little ones tend to get up early, so maybe take advantage of that a little bit. And flip those times.
Yeah, but it's sensitive. You don't want to just test it and change something until you're pretty sure it's going to work, right?
Yeah, and that's something that would include a lot of community conversation before anything like that happened. Absolutely.
Yeah, and also I'm sure your faculty that you want to make sure you get their support. So we do have a phone call, but you know what? I think I'm going to take a quick break, Chris, so we can get our quarter of break in a couple minutes early, and then we'll take a phone call on the Open Mic Show. Speaking tonight, this hour, with our new superintendent in Haverhill, Margaret Marotta, right here and only on the Open Mic Show on WHAV 97.9 FM.
Open Mic!
Bill Macek. Show with Bill Macek. Make your voice heard. Call 978-374-1900. That's 978-374-1900.
Okay, we are back, and we have a phone call. I think it's Brian. Brian, are you on the line?
I am on the line. I'm sorry to call twice for the same.
You can call twice. We'll let you. It's only once an hour that we'll let you call. All right.
Okay. Well, what I was wondering is back in the olden days when I was in high school, and Bill was there too, perhaps you remember the English usage test that we used to get every year from freshman to senior.
Yeah, I remember that.
And
but they do things. They have other tests. They got other tests now. They have to study for and pass, right? The state exams.
Yep.
Yeah.
CAS exams.
Well, I was just wondering about that, though, because there are a couple of things that I'm noticing that the grammar, and if you watch any of the Boston news stations, you'll find that the grammar isn't all that great. There are lots of mistakes, and I'm not even an English teacher. But I notice it.
I know, but that, you know what? A lot of it is because we're also working with computers and things are just different. And Like I've gotten, I think in the last month, I've gotten at least 3 emails, which I pick up on your. People are spelling your Y-O-U-R, which it should be Y-O-U''R-E.
Right.
I
But,
wondered
you
if
know,
that
the-
has to
the-
do with
the-
the accent.
The English language has words that they sound the same, but they don't spell the same. So
Right, homonyms.
we're stuck with that kind of stuff. So English
we
isn't,
are.
we've learned it because we grew up with it, but it's not, I'm told, it's not the easiest language to learn because of those kind of things that are going on, like two, and two. You spell it 3 different ways,
Absolutely.
right? So
Right, with all different meanings.
right, that's right.
I'm noticing though, like even the news anchors on TV, or their grammar isn't all that great all the time. I mean,
Well, we're not going to hang that one on our new superintendent, Brian.
no, I'm just wondering about English usage tests, and and another thing, penmanship, because everybody's using devices nowadays.
I have to. I just want to jump in. I think that I used to have really nice penmanship, either whether it was handwriting or printing, but I'm always on a computer too, so you're not practicing
Absolutely.
that pen to paper as much. And I think my handwriting has gotten a little bit shoddy, compared to it used to be probably easier to read and a little nicer looking. But,
Yeah.
Well,
I think it's just because of practice. If you're not doing it on a regular basis, you're not going to do as good a job probably forming the letters when you use a pen.
Is it going to be a time when the people who are growing older now are not going to know how to write print?
No, we know how to print. It's the young ones I think we've got to worry about.
Well, that's what I'm worried about.
Yeah, I mean, I think we're still teaching printing in school. The idea of cursive has kind of gone away at this point.
Right,
Back in the day.
The Palmer method, no
Yeah.
more. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
That's right, the Palmer method.
Yeah, that's right.
And that was stressed when I was in parochial school.
Exactly.
Right, yeah.
Back in the day. But I was just kind of wondering about that because it sure would be nice.
But the MCAS must have grammar on it, right?
It does. It's not. It's written, so there's no spoken, piece to it. But there is the ELA piece. There's a written composition that does require, that's graded for grammar.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So, are there any certain words, Brian, you'd like to point out that that you're concerned about when either it's Boston News or reporters?
Oh, there are a lot of them. I've heard many reporters say snuck.
Snuck? Snuck?
Snuck. What's the past tense of the word sneak?
Snuck.
See what I mean?
Yeah. No, I don't. You know what? I don't know. Good question. What is it, Brian? You know?
Sneak.
Sneak. Sneak is sneak. All right. Sneak. Yeah. Okay. Any other?
You dove right into that one.
Yes. Well.
That's another one.
You dove.
Oh, there's so many. I mean, the
But
list
that's
goes
the
on and on.
darn English language. Whoever invented it, they made these crazy concoction words, and they mean different things or sound differently. They also sound differently in other parts of the country too.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, that's right. Because the accent.
Yeah, Haverhill. We're from Haverhill.
Make a difference.
I say to people, well, it's Haverhill if you live here. It's Haverhill if you don't.
Right.
Well, somebody decided to knock the last H out. Is the way I figured it out. It's
Well, we
Haverhill.
also put
It's
R's
Rill.
in.
It's not a hill. It's Haverhill. Rill.
There are R's put in where they don't belong.
Yeah, we got one in Haverhill.
Right.
So,
I saw it.
yeah.
That's SAWR.
Yes. Saw
Right.
it. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Well, we have a New England accent. That's all. We can't fight it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we got it. We grew up here, and we sound like Bostonians. I don't think we sound that bad, but you go to some other area of the country, and they go, "Where are you from? Around Boston?"
Yeah,
they
right
figure
away,
it out right away. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, we're not doing park the car. I don't.
People still do that.
You're doing that?
No.
Yeah, I guess some people do it, but we're not heavy. I don't think that you or our superintendent or myself are heavy Bostonian language sounding. But, who knows?
I'm really I'm wondering about, though, the proper use of the English language, because nobody that I know of speaks the perfect grammar all the time.
Well,
besides, that would be boring.
That's a high bar. Yeah. Probably a little snooty and stuffy.
But the English usage test, though, I was, kind of curious about that, and also the ability to write cursive, longhand, and that kind of thing.
Well, I think you got your answers.
I did.
You did. Okay. Like them or not, those are the answers. Okay, Brian.
Welcome to Haverhill, Dr. Marotta.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for calling in, Brian. Anytime.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Okay. Have a good one. Bye-bye. All right. Well, that was another interesting call. If we have a few minutes left here, we got about 9 minutes left to speak to the superintendent. And it's 978-374-1900. And in the meantime, until we get our next call on the Open Mic Show, let's look at some of the bullet points that I asked for. Now, we've
Maybe we could talk about attendance a little bit.
yeah, let's
That'd be all
talk
right?
about attendance.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
important stuff.
It's really important. And we've got a new Attendance Matters campaign, and it's National Attendance Awareness Month here in September. And Haverhill sort of joined into that effort. We have, unfortunately, a large number of kids who are chronically absent in Haverhill. Chronically absent is 10% of the more of the school year. Which means 18 or more
Wow.
days.
Yeah.
But when you think about it, that's really only 2 to 3 days a month of being absent from school, and those absences add up quickly and easily.
They do, and it's sometimes hard to catch up whatever you miss. You may miss something important that is either on the test or
Every day is
or it all
important.
ties together. Every day, it's right. Yeah, every day
It
is
absolutely
important.
is.
You're right.
It absolutely
Attendance, I think, is key. What about homework? Do you find that there's a problem now? And I'm not saying this to make it a bad thing, but there's a lot of single parent households.
Sure.
More than there used to be.
Sure.
And I think that puts more pressure on both the children and the single parent to try to assist with the homework.
Yep, I raised 2 children on my own, so I know all about single parent.
So you know what I'm
families, so
saying.
I am one.
There's a bigger responsibility. It can't be shared. There's nobody to share with. Well, there could be. I
Absolutely.
mean, you could
No,
still have a.
It's a lot of work, I think, for all families.
Yeah, but I
and-
think we need to be cognizant of that and try to work with that makeup. That's what we got. We've got a lot of it.
Yeah, I mean, I think there are ways that we can support families in the school system. I think one thing that I really advocate for is that we shouldn't be introducing work as homework. Homework should be practice on skills that kids already know so that they can gain mastery. They shouldn't
Okay.
be trying to learn new things on their own at home.
Right. That's a good point.
So
Yeah.
we don't always think of that in school. Sometimes we'll give kids something we didn't get to during the school day for homework to keep pace with the curriculum.
Yeah.
That's really not the intent of homework. Homework is really about mastery and really becoming good at things in a more expedient
That's a great
manner.
point because I can remember way back when I was studying and you would sometimes come across something that wasn't explained to you and you didn't know how to figure it out, especially in math or any of the other non-wordy subjects.
Absolutely, and math looks totally different than the math of most parents had
Right.
growing up. So if we don't make sure that the kids understand what they're doing, parents can oftentimes try to intervene, and the parents are getting it wrong because they have, they can get to the answer, but they don't know how to get to the answer in the way that we're doing it in school.
The process is different.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
That's why we have calculators now, right? Oh, well. They let kids use a lot of electronics or things in their studies, in their exams.
Yeah, we do. I mean, I think if we have technology and things that are available to people and us as adults, we use them as well every day.
Right.
Then maybe that sort of rote skill is fine for the student to use the calculator or the phone to look
Because you know the
something up.
process, you know how to enter the problem and get the correct answer.
Right.
That's
and-
what's most important because every cell phone has a calculator in it. It's not like you need to have a separate device.
And it's not that kids don't need to know their facts, but sometimes using a calculator or using their phone to get to the answer allows them to think more deeply about the challenging piece of the work that's the real cognitive load versus the rote piece of it.
Now, is it a challenge for the teachers to make sure the kids aren't using their device for cheating?
Absolutely. I mean, that's always part of the conversation.
No more crib sheets being written down.
Right.
Right. Now it's in the calculator or in the cell phone. But I'm sure you're watching for that.
Yeah, and I think what we're really looking for in school these days is that higher order thinking and that evidence that kids are thinking on their own. So you really can't cheat through that. Right, that's not so much the road information anymore.
And you know what? It doesn't do you any good to cheat because sooner or later you're going to wish you didn't. Cause
Absolutely.
It's better to learn it, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay, we've got a few minutes left. We could probably get in another phone call, 978-374-1900. If you have a question or comment about the Haverhill school system, we have our new superintendent, Margaret Marotta, right here with us for a few more minutes. I want to thank her for coming in before we run out of time. Thanks for coming in and joining us here on the Open Mic Show. And anytime you have something that you would like to let our listeners know, you can let me know, and I'll be glad to make that announcement. Or you can call in. You can become one of our regular callers.
Thank you.
Yeah, maybe you could even call. You could call in your own birthday, and you can win a cake. Yeah. We from time to time have little giveaways here on the Open Mic Show. But it's great to have you come in, and so everything else is running just smooth, right?
It's smooth as silk.
Running good?
No, yeah. Don't believe anything they say. Everything's
So do you
perfect.
think you're going to maybe make some bigger changes for the next budget?
Yeah, I mean, I think we're looking at that now. What can we do differently? How can we make things operate more smoothly? We all know that there's never an enormous, pot of money, new pot of money. So you have to do things differently from year to year and think differently about how we're doing business. So that's kind of what we're doing now is thinking, okay,
now what about
add this? What
just
are we going to take away?
What about like adult learners, night school? You guys doing all that?
Yeah, we have some programs at the high school. I think those really need to be expanded. We need more options. We have one large traditional high school. We don't really have options for kids who need sort of smaller learning environments or personalized learning. That's not where we are currently at, and I think that Haverhill's a city that could use that.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think, to give those they're not special needs kids really, but they have special learning abilities.
Absolutely, and just some kids just need a smaller learning environment, right? An 1,800 student school is large and intimidating for some kids.
Now, one of the things I've heard is that the way a lot of classes are run now is that it runs at the pace of the slowest learner and holds back other. Do you think that's happening much or in certain topics?
So it shouldn't. That's not how things are designed to occur, right? And we don't want to teach the middle either, right? We need to have an array of materials and a lesson plan that can be accommodated up and down for the various kids.
Now, do you still set kids in grade levels? Or is that no longer, is that kind of like taboo? You're singling out the slow learners, the regular learners, and the smart kids. Like when I went to school, that was the way they grade. You were in a high, a medium, or a low class.
Oh, like a tracking kind of things. So not as much. We do have some like advanced work classes and honors classes in the schools. In the best possible world, you would have kids together in a mixed ability group and be able to differentiate up and down to meet their needs.
Yeah, good. I had that, and look how I turned out. So it's not all that bad. But I know there's a sensitivity to making sure kids feel good about themselves and not to feel that. Yeah, and I believe in that. So, well, look, we are just about out of time, so we're going to have to wrap this show up tonight.
All right. Well, thank you.
I'm sure you'll come back if I ask you, right?
Sure, I would
great.
come back.
You did
if
a great
asked.
job.
I would.
Thank you for all of your information, all of your answers to the callers, and thanks for being a part of the Open Mic Show right here on WHAV 97.9 FM.
Open Mic!
Join Bill Macek live on the new Open Mic again next Monday night at 6. The opinions Newsroom.